Roger Deakins. I thought he was intriguing to talk about real quick. Mother.
I thought you said real quick.
Yeah, I know. Well, it auto-corrected to Roger Weekins.
You should look up Tigo.
What the fuck is that?
How do you spell that?
It's from Gremlins, Mrs. Deagle.
Oh.
And they start saying her name.
Oh, yeah.
They're all like,
That's awesome. That's going to be my ringtone when Mike calls now. You've done this to yourself.
So glad we have that recorded. On this episode of the MacGuffin Guild, we're heading over to Hardbodies to join a few daft gym employees with valuable information for which they don't intend to burn after reading. This 2008 Coen Brothers dark comedy crime drama stars George Clooney, Francis McDormand, John Malkovich, Tilda Swinton, Brad Pitt, and Richard Jenkins. We're going to talk about the work and awards of Francis McDormand, unnecessarily mean reviews, Sledgehammer, the art of the dump and run, and Charades with Justin. We'll discuss Malkovich's rage, Brad Pitt's comedic timing, Pat's beef with Deborah, and the wasp venom coursing through Mike's veins. We'll also get into the best performances of this film, synonyms for wheelhouse, bad decisions, the pizza thieving ghost, and we'll debate which character is the ultimate victim. I'm Pat Doherty, and as always, I'll be joined by my fellow MacGuffins, Justin Jones and Mike Antonio. Our theme song was written and performed by Jordan Vincent. Just in case you're worried about the security of your shit, be sure to burn after reading.
I raised you better than this.
And welcome to another episode of the MacGuffin Guild. I am Pat Doherty, and as you know, a MacGuffin is a plot device used to drive along a story in a film, and we here on the MacGuffin Guild like to use the film as a MacGuffin to drive along our conversation. So as always, I am joined by my fellow MacGuffins. First and foremost, Justin Jones. Justin, how's it going?
I forgot to watch the movie. I just wanted to get that out there now.
I know that to be false.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Very good. Better. I've finally recovered from last week, so I'm doing a lot better now.
Well, that's good. I'm very glad. I'm glad you're okay.
I was on IV drip for a few days, but I'm good now.
Mike Antonio is also with us. Mike, how's it going?
that was enthusiasm. Don't expect any more of it.
Yeah, that's it. You just
he passes out.
Get it all out of your system now.
Yeah, what's going on, Pat? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm ready to get into this one. This is a film that I'm excited to talk about.
As am I.
Yeah, we should mention that 2/3 of us have already discussed that we are definitely sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Working on maybe a handful of hours of sleep collectively between us, so this should be pretty interesting.
Yep. Well, it can't be any more interesting than last week, so let's see how it goes.
Yeah, if you guys listening to this have not checked out our episode on the monkey's head, you guys need to check that episode out because we got a little crazy on that one.
It was a celebration, our 25th episode.
Yeah.
Which
fun.
Brings us to episode 26. Can you believe it? We're over the hump, boys.
Yeah. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
I don't.
And 50, we're calling it, so enjoy them. Get them in while you can.
Halfway there, guys.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So who knows where this hump can take us? So.
Heard that before.
I'm still working on my radio host terminology. No, what's the term you would use for like your word usage?
Your jargon?
My jargon. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, but I guess I should know.
See where this hump takes us?
Yeah, I guess I should know as any host of anything. If it involves the word hump, it's probably not a good idea. Anyway.
All right, well, let's just slide into it and see what happens.
All right, anyway, the film we did today is Burn After Reading, 2008 Joel and Ethan Coen flick, rated R, naturally, and it is an hour and 36 minutes long. So this was a film that I selected, and I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued to get the guys' views on this one. I don't even know. I don't remember if we had talked about which of you guys have seen it, and I don't want to know yet, but I don't remember if either of you guys had seen this one before or if this was a first viewing, but we'll get to that momentarily. Before we go there, though, let's swing on over to Rotten Tomatoes. How's that sound?
I just want you to slide all up inside Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, here we go. Rotten Tomatoes, would you fellas like to guess what this one got on the tomato meter, which is the review? No, the fucking who does that? The critics, the critic reviews. Do you guys want to guess what this one got on the tomato meter?
Are you all right, Pat?
I don't know, man. I feel like I need sleep.
I was going to say, Justin and I are the ones who didn't get any sleep, and you're the one falling apart over there.
Yeah, I'll get it together here. All right, so you fellas want to guess?
Justin, if you don't mind, I'll go first.
No, please do.
Okay. So critics, I mean, it's Joel and Ethan Coen, so they're generally liked by the critics. But I do know this. I've heard that this movie isn't as well liked as some of their other ones. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 77%.
Okay.
Critic.
Justin?
What'd he say, 77?
Yeah.
I'll go 78.
78?
Yeah.
Did you cheat?
I did. So here's what happened.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
We watched this on Tubi or something, or one of the streaming channels. I forget what it was. And like every once in a while, like, because we were getting settled in, so we'd have to pause it every once in a while. And whatever, with Tubi, I don't know what it was. Whatever.
I think I watched it on Peacock.
Oh, yeah, Peacock. That's what we watched it on. And then I think when you pause it, it brings the thing up. And I was trying not to look, but we had to pause it several times. I kept seeing it. And I watched it, long enough ago. I was like, I forgot. So let me try and just like throw it out there. And I was like, I think it was 78. So I'm assuming I'm pretty close.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's 78%.
Okay.
Hey, well, then me just completely guessing was pretty goddamn good.
You were right on. You were 1 point off. That's pretty good.
Damn.
Audience score. What do you think? Justin, did you see that one too, I'm guessing?
I did.
Well, then don't say it. Let me go first.
Let Mike guess, yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Damn. Well, to me, I think like I said, I think it's less well regarded as some of their other films, but I'm not sure if that was critical or fans. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess the fans are a little harsher on this one, and I'm going to say 71.
Okay, Justin?
I could be wrong.
I'm just going to, there's a wild pitch I'm going to throw out there. I'll say 68.
No, neither one of you guys got it.
Okay. Man, I had crib notes and I still got it wrong.
It's 65.
That's how bad I am with this.
65? Wow. Yeah. It was even lower than I thought, but I was right that it would be lower.
Yeah, you were right. Yeah, very good. We'll give some positives and negatives here. Let's start with the positives. So we have Shubhra Gupta from the Indian Express says, Burn After Reading is a comedy that makes fun of almost everything, reminding you that almost none of it is a laughing matter.
Deep.
Okay, yeah. We have
I like it.
Ben Lyons from At the Movies says, Francis McDormand might get nominated for an Academy Award in a supporting role. She was great.
Has she ever been nominated? Because if she hasn't, that'd be a shame, because she is awesome.
Yeah, didn't she win for Fargo?
She may have.
I thought she
I don't
won
really
for
pay
Fargo.
attention to award ceremonies and stuff like that, because I think they're bullshit.
I remember when Fargo came out, I think it was like a big deal for her.
I'll find that out here in a second, but I'm pretty positive she won for that. Yeah, she has won 2 Oscars.
Damn.
So let me see.
4?
She was a winner for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role.
Fargo?
Fargo.
I see. The thing I'm looking at has...
Fargo for the 97 Oscars, which Fargo came out in 96, and then 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, 2017, and she won.
She was awesome in that. I mean, she's awesome in everything.
I have not seen that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I like that guy's movies. Martin McDonough, is that his name?
Yeah, Martin McDonough.
I don't know anything of his.
Yeah, and that's got a nice cast too.
Yeah,
that one again, and we'll get into this, but like the film she does is like right in the ballpark of the style and the vibe of film that I love.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So we're going to get into that here
like
momentarily.
Transformers 3. I know how much you love that movie. Because she's totally in that.
Is she?
Oh, is she?
Oh, yes, she is.
Oh. Well, get back to me when she wins an Oscar for it.
Yeah. I would be really pissed if she won an Oscar for that and not for anything else she's ever done.
Exactly. Yep.
Like,
She's
even
not-
Darkman, if she would
She's like a supporting role in that. She's not
Oh,
like
okay.
a main character.
She plays Ratchet.
Yeah. This is Richard Propes from theindependentcritic.com. The joy of a Coen Brothers film is that it is confusing, yet somehow always remains coherent. I didn't find this one too confusing. Ben Mankiewicz from At the Movies says these are functioning morons. They walk and work among us, and they are brilliant and funny, and in spite of the screwball comedy nature of the story, they are completely believable.
Yeah.
Mike Mazzy from Gone with the Twins says learning a valuable lesson isn't a necessary component of being highly entertained.
Yeah, fair. I mean, again, on the money.
Yeah. I'll do one more. So this is Danielle Solzman from Solzy at the Movies says the Coen brothers find a way to mix both political thriller and dark comedy in Burn After Reading to give us a beautiful piece of cinema. So you could see the positives they have are pretty...
It's kind of like par for the course of everything they... Like, I feel like you can kind of take those and copy and paste them almost into anything they've done.
to other Coen brothers films? That's what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Except for the political thing, I don't think,
That
but
was
still.
a little unique,
Yeah.
To this film, I mean.
Okay, so let's get to some negatives and see if it gives us another side. So Richard Krause from Richard Krause says, I know I am about to commit film critic hearsay, but I found the film's overly clever story left me cold.
Did you mean heresy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, did I say hearsay?
Yeah, you did, and I was like, I think the word heresy would fit better there.
Good looking out. Let me give that one another shot. I'm about to commit film critic heresy, but I found the film's overly clever story left me cold.
That's just hearsay.
God damn it. You son of a bitch.
No, of
Now you
course
gotta leave
that
your
joke's
flub.
not going to make any sense. So now I have to leave my flub in there for that laugh to work. God damn you.
That's kind of the point, yeah.
You son of a bitch, you did it.
All right, so no, go on.
I kind of don't think I don't think he's terribly wrong. I don't know, like, and I'll get more into this about my personal feelings about it, but I see where he's kind of going with it, and that entire criticism he made, I think I'm on board with, but I don't really feel it. Like, I like it as a movie. I think it's great, but I see where he's coming from. I don't think it's totally out of left field. Like, oh, he said this thing. Like, I see where he's coming from. We'll dig into that.
Deborah Ross from The Spectator says, although there are a couple of vaguely amusing moments, it fails as a comedy because it just isn't funny, and it fails as a thriller because it just isn't suspenseful, and it fails as entertainment of any kind because it is all so ludicrously improbable. I don't know, man. Deborah needs to get out of the house.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This wasn't a PBS documentary. 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be curious. I'm always curious about these people that leave negative reviews. Like, I want to go back and see like the stuff they actually did. Like, you know what I mean?
Let's see.
Because I don't know what she was expecting to see.
I feel like
her
okay,
opinion is hers.
So we've had this situation happen before where we read a portion of a review and it doesn't do the overall review justice. It's unfair sometimes and misleading.
Yeah.
I feel like Deborah's review warrants a little more investigating because I'd hate to judge her on that one little snippet.
Plus, if you know the person, you can kind of paint a picture. So I just did a quick Google search. Deborah's a mother of 3. She likes crocheting. She plays tennis. Staying active. I'm just kidding. I didn't Google any of that.
You know what? Forget this. I don't know about Deborah. I don't really have the patience to dig into Deborah's history right now. We're just going to have to assume if Deborah didn't mean what she said, she wouldn't have put it out there.
Yeah, comedy I think is really subjective too. Like I think we said that before. Like you can't. I mean,
but she does dig in pretty deep on this one. Like,
yeah, the claws are out on that one.
Yeah, I mean, for her to go down the list, although there are a couple of vaguely amusing moments, I mean, that right there is kind of... that's kind of offensive. There are more than vaguely amusing moments. I mean, to add the word vaguely in there is just a jab. And then it fails as a comedy because it just isn't funny.
So disagree.
And it fails as a thriller because it just isn't suspenseful. And it fails as entertainment of any kind because it is all so ludicrously improbable. That's just not cool. you know, like... I'm hoping that is followed up by a but. Let me see if I can... Hold on. Okay. I have to do this for the sake of Deborah and my blood pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're really getting worked up over this, Pat.
I am. Well, not because...
Maybe it just wasn't her thing.
It's not because I'm flustered by somebody else's opinion. It's just because... look, I understand people get paid to review things. I mean, shit, we're reviewing things and we're not getting paid. However... Sometimes, I mean, the wording that people use and the vitriol and the, like, just the pouncing that they do is, like, it's not fair. Like, I think it's a little uncalled for at times.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what she says. This has a terrific cast, sure enough, starring not just Clooney, but also John Malkovich, Brad Pitt, Tilda Swinton, Francis McDormand. So we have Malkovich, who's angry, married to Tilda Swinton, who's icy, who in turn is having an affair with Clooney, who's goofy, a married federal marshal, whatever that is. Tilda wants a divorce, so on the advice of her lawyer, copies her husband's financial details onto a CD-ROM while inadvertently downloading his memoirs, too. Eventually, the CD, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not going to give away spoilers. Yeah, and then this is how she ends it. In the end, actually, they're all so stupid, they could all fall under a bus for all you care, which is effectively what does happen to most of them via a couple of scenes of grotesque violence, and you don't care. And I shall say to the two fibers of my being when they return from the Cotswolds, welcome home, chaps, and no, you really didn't miss much. Burn after reading, don't bother seeing, more like. Man, she really hates this movie.
She does.
Yeah, why?
I wonder if she just doesn't like their particular brand of humor or something.
Apparently.
I will say there's something, she kind of touched on something which I kind of noticed, and I think for her, she really like latched onto it. And for me, it's just kind of a thing I noticed. I love the Coen brothers. I love their movies. Mm-hmm. There's some of my absolute favorite movies are Coen brothers movies. One thing I noticed they do that always kind of put me off, and it's nothing they did wrong, it was just something that didn't sit right with me. And then once I kind of identified this and I kind of got over it, it's like, okay, that's kind of part of their point, is a lot of their movies are kind of cringy in that you're constantly watching people do the wrong thing. And you're like, oh my God, don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that's those things that just, you know, like, I remember when Fargo came out and people were just like losing their mind over it. I was like, but I felt bad for these people. Yeah. And like, but they bring it on themselves. And I find myself like sympathizing with these people that just bring this horrible stuff into their life.
Mm-hmm. Well, to me, that's more realistic. They get on people really bad about horror movies, like characters making bad decisions in horror movies. Mm-hmm. Has anybody met a real person in real life? People make horrible decisions all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You know what I mean? They make wrong choices.
Yeah.
So that to me is more realistic.
But this is where I get like, where I shake my head, because when I'm watching a Coen Brothers movie, I'm not going in with the mindset of, you know, like I'm watching The King's Speech, you know, or I'm watching like some classic that like has like
some serious
content, and like you can't take it like that. Like you have to go in with, it's the Coen brothers, for crying out loud. You know what their vibe is at this point, and if you don't, then you just haven't watched enough of their stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't know why Deborah got so worked up, but you know,
probably the same reason you're getting so worked up.
Perhaps. She's the yin to my yang, apparently.
Yeah.
You're really upset, Pat.
You guys are probably soulmates meant to be together.
Jason Best from Movie Talk Says, yet again, the Coens parade a carnival of stupidity before us. Another cavalcade of caricatured schmucks, imbeciles, and idiots.
It's a comedy!
I know!
Oh my God. They just don't get it.
Okay, Justin, to piggyback off of something you said earlier about the positives that I was reading, I feel like people go in, like when somebody's on the scene for as long as the Coen brothers have been, I think people go in with this preconceived notion of they know what they're going to get. And I think they almost like they write their reviews before they even see the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in some of these there they go again with a bunch of idiots. Dude, they're telling a story. They're trying to entertain us. It's like a stage play. It's not supposed to be some life-altering, like work of, hey, this is how you live and make proper decisions. It's supposed to be entertainment. It's a different form of what Shakespeare was doing, like with these characters making the wrong decisions and leading to, and I'm not comparing the Coen brothers to Shakespeare, but what I'm saying, it's all art. It's all stage plays, It's just, I don't know.
What's those follies that they do that are like blossom into the plot?
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to warm up. Like, I remember the Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
I remember people raving about it, and I saw it, and I thought it was okay, but I was like, why are people raving about this? But then upon multiple viewings, I've grown to love it.
Yeah.
But at first, it was not my thing. I had to get into the, I had to like train my brain to see that movie differently.
Okay, I want to make, and I totally hear what you're saying. I want to make something clear before there's a misconception about how I'm reacting here. It's not that I don't understand that people don't all like the same things. Believe me, I get that. I just don't understand why someone feels like, and we've all dealt with this in the podcast, why someone feels like they have to, like, dig in like that. Like, like...
Because it makes them feel better about themselves.
She really was just digging. It's not funny because of this, and it's not entertaining because of that, and it's not suspenseful because of that. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, she had a visceral response to it. And she was like,
apparently.
just expressing it. So, it's interesting.
Also, the days of the internet where, you can watch a movie and 3 seconds later you can post your review.
Yeah.
And, that's that whole, the knee-jerk. That's her knee-jerk review. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to be too unfair to her.
I'll give her this, because I agree with you that when people get like really nasty about things, one thing I will give her credit for is I feel like she really did kind of break it down.
She did explain her reasoning.
Put thought into it, and she's like, "This is the reason I'm so hateful."
Yeah.
No, I think she broke it down, which I hate is when people just leave negative reviews and they're like, "This movie's stupid."
Yeah. At least she backed
Period.
up. She backed up her very clear feelings. So one more negative, and then we can proceed to the actual discussion here.
Can you handle it, Pat?
I don't know, man.
Do you need a breather? Want to take 5?
All right, no, we're good. I can push through.
Ding ding, round 2.
Tony Macklin from Fayetteville Free Weekly says, please send get well cards to the Coen brothers. After last year's No Country for Old Men, for which they won the Oscar for Best Picture of the Year, Joel and Ethan Coen have had a relapse. Now, this is a good time to mention the point. This script was written at the same time as No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
And in fact, the Coen brothers, they were bouncing back and forth. They would alternate days working on scripts as they were working both these scripts out, which I thought was pretty interesting.
I didn't know that.
But I will say this, like, even though No Country is like, if you put these two films side by side, they're two totally different films. One's,
they're not even the same genre.
Yeah, one's much heavier than the other.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that about the Coen brothers, that they can, and I'm not saying I love all the Coen brothers stuff. I certainly don't. There's some stuff I like more than others. In fact, Mike, you had mentioned Big Lebowski. That or Fargo seem like the easy choice, or even No Country for Old Men, the easy choice if you're bringing the Coen brothers work into your podcast or whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's not the route I went. Like, to me, I wanted to dabble more in the the more obscure stuff of theirs. Not that this is obscure, but you know.
What I brought up earlier, where I from what I saw, that this movie wasn't as well liked as some of their other films, as we're kind of seeing.
Yeah.
From Deborah's review.
Yeah, so let's do this then. I would love to know a little history about, and I can give mine momentarily, but I am intrigued to know, because I can't remember if you guys have seen this film before and if this is your first viewing or when you think you did see it originally.
I saw this movie once before, probably like when it first came out on video or, around about that time period. And I remember liking it. However, I completely forgot the movie even existed. Not totally, like, I would hear the name. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. I should probably see that again because I barely remember anything about it. I just remember thinking that I liked it, but I didn't remember much. The only two things that I always remembered, which I won't spoil the one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is closet. You with me, Justin?
Yeah.
That was spoiled for me before I saw the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember that. That clearly stuck out in my head. And I also remember George Clooney's invention.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
How could you forget that?
That's the only two things from that whole movie that, even watching it, for this episode, I remembered nothing about it. Nothing. I forgot everybody that was in it except for George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And Francis McDormand. Dormand? Francis McDormand?
Doorman.
Yeah, Francis the Doorman. I don't know, whatever.
McDormand.
I didn't even remember Tilda Swinton being in it or even John Malkovich. I didn't remember him in it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, he has a small part.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the extent of my whole history with it. Not a lot there.
So when you watched it again, so like you said, only the two parts that you really remembered. So everything else was kind of new to you as you were watching it again?
It was brand new. I do remember liking Brad Pitt's character and thinking he was funny and thinking that he was like my favorite part of the movie, and watching it again, same feeling.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Oh my God, he cracks me up in this movie. Every little just facial tick and every little thing he's just doing in every scene that he's in. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah, so this excites me. Before we get to you, Justin, there's something I want to get into later that involves with this cast, this awesome cast that's in this movie. There's a question I want to ask you guys that I think could be pretty interesting that kind of ties into what you're saying there, Mike. So we will certainly get back to that.
Okay.
Justin, what's your history here?
I've never seen this before, despite being a Coen Brothers fan, and this is why. I remember when this came out, and there's only so many hours in a day to do stuff, and I remember when this came out, I remember hearing a lot of bad reviews and stuff about it, and I was I'll eventually get around to seeing it, and here we are.
You bought into what Deborah had to sell, huh?
Deborah got me hook, line, and sinker, man. And then, so 12 years later, or no, 13 years. What year are we in? I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, 13 now.
Yeah, 13 years later, I'm now finally seeing it, and I think it was pretty good. But that was the point I wanted to make is I fall for that way too often. That's something I'm trying to change, where I'll just hear something bad about something. It's just an excuse for me not to watch something so I could watch the same 10 movies I've been watching for the last 40 years of my life. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to watch it. I'll just watch Street Trash again. But I'm glad that I watched it because it was cool, man. I really liked it. It wasn't my favorite Coen Brother movie, but it was good, and it definitely.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I think it's very underrated.
Yeah, it was good, and it has a great cast. George Clooney is awesome. Francis McDormand's awesome. I'm going down to IMDb. Brad Pitt's awesome. John Malkovich. Tilda Swinton's awesome. Richard Jenkins was awesome in this. I felt really bad for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip around. Oh, J.K.
Who's Richard Jenkins?
He plays
He played Ted.
Yeah, the guy that runs the
manager at the at the that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
Hardbodies. Sarah and I love J.K. Simmons. Like we talk about him all the time.
He's not in that movie enough.
No, I agree. Anyway, the list goes on.
It does.
It's a fantastic cast. The point being, and a lot of regulars that come back. Yeah,
I like that one guy. What's his name? David Roush, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He was Sledgehammer. That TV show Sledgehammer.
Yep.
Yeah. I always remember when I used to love that show as a kid for some reason.
Yeah.
It was great. It was an awesome show.
The show was hilarious.
I think my dad watched it. I always remember him putting the sunglasses on and hitting his eye with the arm.
Yeah.
He pokes himself in the eye.
I remember one episode of that when I was a kid. Like they're investigating somebody at a record, a recording
Studio.
Jesus Christ, where or like a record industry thing, like the whatever.
Okay, hold on. How many syllables? Sounds like
whatever the recording industry is, where they go, where the people are.
Hollywood.
Jesus Christ! Well, man, here's where the sleep
Nashville.
deprivation really is really taking its toll.
Graceland.
Graceland.
Anyway, they go to
New York,
a recording agency or something, and
a
they go
record
in
label.
a record label. Yeah, I guess they're going in. Holy shit!
This better be good.
It's not. So they go in and they talk to the receptionist, and she's kind of like all ditzy and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, we're here to see such and such," and she's like, "Who may I ask wants to see him?" And he goes, "We're the police," and she's like, "I'm sorry, there's already a band with that name," or something. Like it was just like really goofy humor like that. That was one thing I really remember. But
yeah. Real quick, before we proceed, while we're talking about the cast, Jeffrey DeMunn is in this film as the cosmetic surgeon. And
That's
this
right.
is the second film, I believe, that he's popped up on the MacGuffin Guild.
Oh, okay.
Christmas Evil being the first.
That's right, he was in that. Yeah.
that's not the one I had in mind.
What, was he in another one?
No, remember at the beginning we were talking about actors that were in. That wasn't the one I had in mind.
Oh, no. That's not the one. I haven't revealed that one yet.
Oh,
There's
okay.
another actor that is in this film that has just a bit part, who was also a large part of a previous episode, and that is, should I say it now?
Go ahead.
That was Robert Prescott.
Yep.
Who plays Kent from Real Genius, who was also in the bachelor party scene where his ass went through the roof.
Wait, he's in this movie?
Yeah, he's the one that serves John Malkovich's character.
Serves in the papers? That's him? Oh my
That's
god.
him, yeah.
Holy shit.
You got to watch it back now.
Yeah.
I have another one too.
Oh, who else you have? No,
Goddamn.
continue.
From a previous episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there is another one.
Yeah.
You could say this one, yeah.
Dermot Mulroney?
Yep. From our Living in Oblivion episode.
Who's he playing this?
He's the star of the movie within the movie called Coming Up Daisy.
That's right.
So he's on
Claire
the poster
Danes.
and he's in the one scene that
He's
you
in
keep
that one
seeing.
scene, yeah, and Claire Danes.
And they even mention his name when they're in the Seattle show. George Clooney's wife is on the show, and they're like, coming up next, Dermot Mulroney from Coming Up Daisy.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, lots of, I like that. Lots of previous actors from previous episodes of the MacGuffin Guild. That means
we have enough episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means we don't need, now that we're over the hump, we could just end it tonight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why not? I got shit to do next week anyway.
Surprise, everyone. This is our last episode.
This is it, folks.
We can share this moment together because we're all just as surprised as you are.
No, anyway, that's not our last
true.
episode.
That's a false, that's just false announcement. That's not real.
So let's do this. I want to just real quickly look at the taglines from this film. There's three. One of them is just really bad. I don't know if there's a typo here, but two of them are okay. Intelligence is relative is one of them. And another one says intelligence is only their job, which I think that's a good one. Mm-hmm. The other one, are you looking at these, Justins?
No.
Justins. Justins.
I am not Japat.
Anyone at home listening, we accidentally got water on Justin, and he started multiplying, so there are many Justins now.
Okay. Woo. All right. No,
Fucking mess. It's a mess.
I'm so glad this isn't our first episode because people are like,
you
yeah,
sure?
this is whack.
just to clarify, unlike last week, we're not all getting shit-faced right now. So
No, listen,
this is natural.
I'm shit-faced on Deborah, man.
Everyone has that one woman. Every man has that one woman in their life that really messes them up like permanently. For Pat, it was Deborah.
Oh man, I was ready for this episode, and she just knocked me off my game, man.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Typical man blaming a woman for all your problems.
I know. It's horrible. All right, this one makes no sense. Tell me, is there a typo here? It says, and I'm going to read this word for word.
Okay.
And there's no punctuation until the period at the end, okay?
Okay.
A high-stakes love life and jewel CIA shelter.
What the fuck?
Does that make sense to anyone?
Nope.
And jewel is capitalized. A high-stakes love life and jewel CIA shelter. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That is a tagline on IMDb for Burn After Reading, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
It does not compute.
Anyway.
I got nothing on that one.
So, real quick, my history with this movie. So, I don't remember when I saw it originally. It wasn't... I remember when the trailer would play for when this film was being released. I remember the scene clearly of Brad Pitt when he's standing with his headphones on and he's like all happy and he's like pumping his fists.
Same here.
Like chomping gum or whatever, and he's all excited. I remember that moment from the trailer when it was on TV when the movie was being released. But I didn't see the movie in the theater. I didn't see it till I don't know how many years later. I mean, came out in 2008. I don't know. Maybe I saw it at some point between 2012 and 2018. I don't know. Somewhere in that ballpark. It wasn't right away. It was like just kind of something we rented at one point. The first time I saw it, I absolutely loved it. I loved the vibe of it. And as I do this podcast more and as I, kind of talk about my personal preferences, I think people will start to realize that there's a soft spot in my soul for that genre of film, for that way of storytelling, for dark comedy crime dramas like the Mistaken Identities and the very dark situations done in a humorous way, in that characters are involved in things that they have no business being involved in. I've always found a lot of enjoyment out of that style of storytelling. As horrific as it can be at times, I think it's a really good way to tell really interesting stories with really interesting characters and keep the audience on their toes. I mean, there's some Tarantino stuff that doesn't necessarily lean into the comedy stuff, but it's such horrendous situations that are done in a way where there's humor there, even though it's not like slapsticky humor. It's when Travolta shoots Marvin in the back of the car in Pulp Fiction.
Oh man, I think I just shot Marvin in the face.
Yeah, exactly, like that kind of. And it's not to say that I like murder and death, but I always looked at that as an amazing tool for telling really intriguing stories. But there's some, like, real quick. So Barry on Showtime, Justin, I know I recommended that to you in the past, and that has Bill Hader in it.
Yeah.
Barry is awesome in this vibe, this dark comedy crime drama vibe. It's awesome. Which it's like, it's got the humor, but it's got like some really heavy subject matter. But I'm like, I can't peel my eyes away because it's so, I don't know, it's just so entertaining. Pulp Fiction, like I said. Breaking Bad has a lot of this. And Better Call Saul, obviously. Ozark is another one that has that.
All these shows you're naming, I haven't seen any of them.
Dude, I highly recommend every one of those shows that I just mentioned.
Well, and that's
because
the thing
they're all in this same vein where they're all like, these ensemble casts and these really crazy situations and people that are much like the Brad Pitt and Francis McDormand characters who are just unknowingly walking themselves into situations they have no business being in.
Well, that's and that's the thing. Like you, it seems like that genre is like really high up on your list.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's not, even though I do enjoy that stuff. I'm not saying like I don't like that stuff, but it's not like one of my tops as far as like movies I enjoy. And again, I usually do enjoy these films. Like I love this movie. Burn After Reading's great. I love this movie, but I don't generally like seek out that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'll give you real quick just to finish my point. I've been so inspired by this genre of films that one of the short films I made, which the theme song is shared with this podcast, is a film called Drop Point Compromised, which is very much the same kind of vibe, where you have a character who is completely out of his league, who steals a car that happens to have a dead body in the trunk, and he gets entangled in a situation that he has no business being in. And I don't want to say it was inspired by Burn After Reading, because I can't even remember if I saw Burn After Reading before I wrote Drop Point Compromise, but it's that vibe of film that I love. So when I see the Coen brothers putting Brad Pitt and Francis McDormand and Ted in these situations where they have no business being, I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
The person that just like kind of blindly stumbles into a situation and gets in over their head with no comprehension of like what the potential consequences of their actions could be, because they just don't know. I
think there's a plethora of fun ideas that you can have when you put people that don't belong there into a situation and see how they react. Yeah, I love that situation.
The beauty of this one, though, too, is that all this high level stuff and everyone thinking that they're more important than they really are, and it's over nothing. Like it was you know. Yeah. It's not a spoiler, but it's basically there was no fucking information. Like there was nothing worth a shit that anyone had.
Yeah. Maybe some like minor tax information in his memoir.
Yeah, and it just like involved all these people and disrupted so many lives and just like this whole. But then that's the beautiful thing, like which I think some of those reviewers might have been missing or just didn't give a shit. That if you just look, if you broke down the synopsis of, you'd be like, what? All this happened because of one disc with essentially useless information.
Yeah.
Would you call it a MacGuffin?
Oh, absolutely. The disc is absolutely a MacGuffin.
Sure, absolutely it is.
Yeah, but it was just crazy how like everything, just the escalation of stuff was amazing.
This is what I think we should do at this point, unless you guys have any other ideas.
No,
I would like to get into
you.
some of my Pat's points.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Pat's points.
All right, I got quite a bit, so I'm gonna rattle down them and see where it takes us.
Okay, good.
Malkovich and Pitt's characters were written with them in mind by the Coen brothers. In fact, all the leading actors were, except for Tilda Swinton, which I would be intrigued to know, and I unfortunately do not know how or why she ended up getting the part, but I guess that particular character was not written for her, but for whatever reason she ended up, which she did awesome.
Had she worked with them previously?
Tilda Swinton was in Hail Caesar, which is a Coen Brothers movie.
Well, that's after.
So in no particular order, Coen Brothers, True Grit, the 2010 version.
Yes, I like that film.
Fargo.
I love that film.
It's a good one.
Blood Simple.
I've never seen that.
It's a good one.
No Country for Old Men.
I like that movie. I need to see that again.
Inside Llewyn Davis.
Never saw it.
I didn't see that one.
Miller's Crossing.
That's a good one.
I never saw that.
Oh, check that one out.
Raising Arizona.
Ready? I have never seen that one.
Oh, that was my first Coen Brothers movie I'd ever seen, and that's when I fell in love with them. I still quote that movie all the time.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I can picture you saying, boy, what's the one line?
It's, son, you got a panty on your head.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that all the time now because some people's masks look like panties.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Son, you got a panty on your head. And I love the part when he goes, when they're trying, after the kid's stolen and they're like, can you describe his pajamas to the father? He's like, I don't know, he's got Yodas and shit on him.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
He's got Yodas and shit on.
Also, one of Nick Cage. Always call him. Yeah, Nick Cage. That's his name. One of Nicolas Cage's.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, not Nick Cave. One of his best movies of all time. Like I can't think of a movie I like
Second
him
only
in.
to Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Oh my God, no!
Just
And
kidding.
Vampire's Kiss.
Barton Fink.
Never saw it.
Barton Fink's really good, but it was one of those ones. It is way over my head. Like I liked it. And John Goodman's in it. John Turturro's good in it. But I have no fucking idea what's going on in that movie.
We have The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Never saw it.
That was a Netflix production.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did know about
And,
that.
Tom Waits is in that, the mighty Tom Waits. We have A Serious Man.
Oh, that's a good one,
We
too.
have Hail Caesar.
Never saw it.
The Big Lebowski.
Saw it, like it. Don't
My
love
favorite.
it. That's not my favorite.
Is that your favorite, Justin?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. The Man Who Wasn't There.
Never saw it.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Never saw it.
I need to watch that again.
Oh, Brother?
Yeah, because Sarah loves it, and a lot of people I know love it. And I saw it, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. But I think...
Yeah, I think I'm in the same
It's
boat.
the Odyssey, isn't it? It's the retelling of
check
the
that.
Odyssey.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I know that much.
Intolerable Cruelty.
Never saw it.
Hudsucker Proxy.
Never saw it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. The Lady Killers.
I haven't actually seen that.
Never saw it.
And-
Oh, wait, I did see that. I actually saw that one. That's the one with Tom Hanks, right?
Yes, it is.
I did see that once.
And Burn After Reading. So, real quick, too, it must be noted that this is the third Clooney Coen Brothers film that they dubbed the Trilogy of Idiots. And it is Burn After Reading, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Intolerable Cruelty. Those are the three flicks that Clooney is in.
I thought he was in Hail Caesar as well.
That was afterwards.
Oh, that's like later. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, at the time of this film coming out, I suppose. But, yes, so there we go.
So like
anyway,
I said,
so-
there's only a handful of those I've seen. And of the ones I have seen, Fargo is still my favorite. And the first one that I saw.
My dad loved Fargo, which I was surprised. I remember we were talking about one time. He's like, oh, yeah. He was like telling me how much he loved it. I was like, yeah, I didn't really take you as a Fargo man.
So Tilda Swinton modeled her hair off of Edna Crabapple from The Simpsons.
Huh.
Crabapple?
Yeah, Crabapple, whatever. Yeah, because of fucking...
I was like, where do I know that name from?
We're notorious for mispronunciation, so
Yeah,
I'm
it was only a matter
I'm
of
just
time.
gonna fucking stamp that one and move on.
I don't even know who that character is, so... Because I'm not...
So the teacher from The Simpsons.
Oh,
it's
Mr.
a teacher.
Krabappel.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can picture the hair now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there are 62 F-bombs in this film. Mostly Malkovich, of course,
Yeah.
Clooney.
His rage was...
Is a thing of beauty.
yeah. Second
I know.
only to Pat's review of Deborah's review. They were pretty...
Pat's going
Yeah.
all John Malkovich on our ass.
Yeah.
Listen,
Where
Listen,
the
I'm-
fuck do you get off giving such a shitty fucking review? You motherfucker.
fuck are you?
Yeah. I will find you.
Oh my god. Yeah. My apologies, but yes, I let the Malkovich rage get to me. But listen, like watching this again, I watched this film twice in the last 3 days in preparation for this podcast. And I had seen it previously, obviously. And I want to talk more about the performances in this in a little bit. But Malkovich, man, look, I've always been kind of hit or miss with Malkovich. Like,
Same here.
I always thought he was put on such a pedestal and dubbed king, like he could do no wrong and everything he touches was a home run, that it kind of unfairly put him out there for me. Anyway, to watch this again, like, he just killed this fucking role.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the nuance and subtleties to his rage is what got me too. Like the scene that we had mentioned a little bit ago, where he was served for the divorce and whatnot. Right before he was served his papers, he's sitting there and he finds out that the disc was given to the Russians.
Yeah.
And how he's saying, like, the Russians, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like his complete and utter just confusion and he's just flabbergasted and can't wrap his head around what the fuck is going on. Like, I just love that about his performance.
So
but he
good.
just crushes it. Yeah, but just how he breathes those lines. It just it makes it so real. I could see someone in real life being like, what the fuck is going on? And he totally nailed that.
Yeah.
I feel he is who the viewer associates with, because he's the only one really who's not a complete and total moron. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you follow him and he's like, because he's like, has that, like, he even says something to Ted. He's like, I've been dealing with fucking people like you my whole life. You're an idiot and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're watching this and you're like, you people are idiots. But that, which makes that scene even more tragic, because even though Ted's kind of a little dull and he's sympathetic and you like him and you're kind of, you know, like, oh, he's a nice guy. And when those two forces meet of John Malkovich, who you're you know, connected to, because he sees how crazy and stupid everyone is, and then Ted, who, like, I don't know, for me, I don't know if you guys felt the same. Your heart goes out to him, because he's like just a guy trying
He's
to,
just
like,
this lonely older guy.
Yeah.
He clearly likes Francis what the fuck? Whatever her name is.
McDormand. It's spelled McDormand, M-A-N-D.
Okay, McDormand.
Franny McD. Coach Carter.
Yeah.
Franny McD.
Yeah.
He totally, he totally like crushes on Franny McD's character.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And just how pathetic he is when they meet, and he's like, no. And it's, oh man, that just broke my heart watching that scene.
Yeah.
Just like, 'cause you felt bad for him.
She's like, only like losers are attracted to me. He's like, I'm not a loser, or whatever he says.
Do you think I'm a loser?
Do you think I'm a loser?
Oh. Brutal.
So yeah, and I want to get back to these performances here, because this ensemble cast is so intriguing.
It's great,
and there's so many good performances that there's
Pitt.
a question that I want to present. So we'll get to that momentarily. There's two things that I want to get to at the end of my points here. So this is the first Coen Brothers film not photographed, or the cinematographer was not Roger Deakins. Now, I don't know. I think they've used other cinematographers since then, but this was the first one where they did not use him. And they ended up using Emmanuel Lubezki, and he's done a ton of stuff. He's got 46 cinematographer credits. He's done, to name a few, Children of Men, Gravity, The Revenant, Birdman.
Oh, man, he's done some really good ones.
Yeah, really good ones. So he did this. Meet Joe Black, The Birdcage. He's done a ton of stuff. The Tree of Life. Anyway, so
he's done
this
some
was
very visual stuff. So that's that's good. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
So, however, the man they usually use, Roger Deakins, I thought he was intriguing to talk about real quick. Barton Fink, The Secret Garden, Shawshank Redemption, Dead Man Walking, Fargo, Courage Under Fire, Big Lebowski, The Hurricane, The Man Who Wasn't There, Beautiful Mind, The Village, The Lady Killers, No Country for Old Men, Revolutionary Road, which was the film that he signed on to do before the production of this film. So that's why he could not do Burn After Reading. So he's done a ton of stuff. But when I saw his work, because I was intrigued after I read that I wanted to see what else Roger had done. But he's done a lot of stuff, but not this one. So let's talk more about this one. I love how, again, real quick about Malkovich and his anger from the very beginning when he's brought into the office and the coworker says, you have a drinking problem. And he's like, you're a Mormon. Next to you, we all have a drinking problem.
That was awesome.
Yes.
I love that. That's so great.
Yep. He also, because he was taken off of it was some project he was doing or something, or whatever he was doing, he was overseeing something or whatever, and they took him off of that. So instead of just accepting that, he quit his career.
Yeah, but I can, there was a line later on that said, knowing this town, everybody who quits was fired. So they're kind of, I think now maybe they were going to give him some shit job
Oh yeah, probably.
But look again. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's two things I want to talk about. This is one of them. So I don't want to bust a move too early. At least I said bust a move and not something else. Anyway.
All right, let's pull out of this.
All right. Real quick, George Clooney and his Harry character. He was a complete and utter slime ball, but I thought he was great.
Yeah,
so great.
I loved by the end of it, you totally started to pick up on all of Harry's moves.
Oh, yeah.
For example, the way he would just talk to women in general. I adore you, like that whole thing. He would always, after the fact, say, I wonder if I can get a run in.
He does the old dump and run.
Yeah.
Because he takes a dump and then he goes for a run. Yeah.
I like how paranoid he gets, like progressively more and more paranoid.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's awesome.
And he's talking shit too the whole time, like he's big badass guy. Oh, in the business, and then when the push comes to shove and the shit hits the fan, he's a total coward. He falls to pieces.
And he's a total coward. He also has lactose reflux.
Yeah, lactose reflux. And then later on when he says, is that shell food?
Yeah.
Shell food. I loved the subtle lines that the Coen brothers used to build these characters that were so quick.
Yep.
Like they didn't linger on them. Another one, real quick, and I want to get back to Clooney, but another one of those lines was when Francis McDormand was in the Russian embassy and the ambassador tells her it's all drivel. All the information was dribble.
Like, dribble?
Dribble? It's not dribble. I'll give you a dribble. But it's like she doesn't understand that word, It's not in her vocabulary. But real quick, back to Clooney, another thing he does, which I love, was the whole noticing the floors, like when he walks into a room. Like that's just one of his icebreakers, like one of his moves. I thought that was great. But did you notice that? He used it in the very beginning with Tilda Swinton. He walks into the kitchen. He looks down at the floors. He's like, look at these floors. Nice floor. And then later on with Francis McDormand, when he gets back to her place, he looks right at the floors instantly and starts talking about the floors.
Okay.
Like, it's just his ice-breaking move. I like those they really built these characters up really well. Like I loved, by the end, I felt like I knew Clooney. And one thing that I will say that was surprising about Clooney, the way that he spoke and the game that he talked when push came to shove and he was in that situation with Brad Pitt in Osborne Cox's house, he knew how to use that gun.
Oh, yeah. He mentions earlier in the movie how he's never drawn his weapon, ever.
Yep.
He's never had to.
It's like muscle memory. He talks a big game. So there's a part of me, knowing the Coen brothers and knowing how they're building this character, that you would feel like when that situation arrived, he would not know how to use the gun, and he would be completely out of his element.
Well, because they kind of set him up as a big talker,
Yeah.
I actually disagree with that.
Okay.
I think someone who was in control would have had control of the situation. He panicked and shot him in the head. Basically, spoiler alert.
Spoilers,
he panicked.
This is total spoilers at this point.
He basically just panicked and just shot him. You know what I mean?
Well, but he wasn't expecting to open a closet, and he had the gun in his hand.
He panicked. However, he wasn't bullshitting where he said it's muscle memory.
Yeah.
He reached for that gun and fired off, and it was
he already
muscle
had the gun in his hand.
It was in his hand.
Oh, yeah, it was in his hand. But, yeah, you're right. But, yeah, he shot him right between the eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he reacted.
Oh, God.
He saw a threat. You're in a house and somebody's in the closet.
You could look at it like he handled it poorly because he shot first and didn't ask questions. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But the other side is, he didn't give the threat a chance to hurt him. He doesn't know who's in that closet.
Yeah, but I think he showed he didn't have control of the situation. You know what I mean?
True.
He let emotion
fear took over.
Yeah, instead of composing yourself and going to your training and be like, all right, control the situation,
And then even after, he was still panicking. He ran down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, fell down the stairs.
Yeah, and then went in the kitchen, got the knife or whatever.
And wasn't sure if he was dead.
Yeah.
But no, you're right, Justin. I guess when you think of it from an emotional standpoint, he shit the bed. But when you think of it just strictly in a muscle memory use of his weapon, he was not bullshitting. Muscle memory kicked in and he just fucking did the deed. You know?
I understand.
So
But this is coming from a guy, myself, who punched his wife in the stomach in the middle of the night because he had a dream because a ghost was stealing his pizza. So, and like, I'm not a trained, assassin or anything, but like when push comes to shove, you're going to fight for what you believe in.
For that pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Justin, that is better than my story of flailing my arms wildly and hitting my, then girlfriend, now wife, hitting her in my sleep because in my dream I was being attacked by a swarm of wasps. And if you guys know, not sure if you guys know this, that's like the only animal that I will run and scream from is a wasp.
I remember probably the root of what caused that situation.
You probably do know,
at school, elementary school, when a wasp got in your shirt.
Yeah, we were outside for gym class. I think we were going in, like we were walking toward the school, and it got under my shirt and started stinging me all over my stomach and sides.
Dude, you could not get it out of your shirt.
It stung me 20 times, 15, 20 times.
God.
Yeah.
Did you go home or did you just finish the school day?
No, I finished the school day.
You're such a trooper.
Man.
But I hate
Days
wasps.
were different back then.
Then he got in a fist fight in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Most exciting day.
Well, I was full
See
of
episode 1.
I was full of wasp venom, so I was I was feeling a little superhuman.
Feel a little bold after that.
But I remember, dude, that was you looked like you were in a live action cartoon is what it looked like. The way you were grabbing your shirt, because it was flying around within your shirt, stinging you at various portions of your body, and you couldn't keep up. It was you would be reacting to one injury when he would be stabbing you with the next.
Yeah, because I'd be feeling the sting after he already moved on, basically.
It was awful. And I was just standing there watching. There was nothing I could do to help.
Yeah.
What was I going to rip your shirt off?
Well, I mean, in the moment.
There's a history. We're starting to see this history of events, these tragic events happening in Mike's life where you're just spectating.
Well,
he spectated.
The reverse is true. Yeah.
Yeah, the reverse is certainly true.
Okay.
We spectate each other's tragedies.
That's why I hate a wasp, because when they sting, they don't lose their stinger. Because they don't have a barbed stinger. It's just like a needle. As opposed to a bumblebee who has a barbed stinger. So when they sting you, the stinger sticks in you and rips off of them and kills them.
Yeah, their butt comes off.
Yeah. So a wasp will just keep stinging. A bee will only sting you once, and then it's done.
Yeah.
So, and plus, what purpose do they serve? I mean, at least a bee pollinates and stuff. What the hell does a wasp do?
Yeah, what does a wasp do?
Maybe they eat bugs. Maybe they do eat some bugs and stuff. That might be.
I'll tell you what they do. They sting bitches.
Fuck them. I hate them.
All right, a couple more points, and then I want to talk about my two other topics real quick. We talked about J.K. Simmons. I loved. I appreciated for this work, for this film. I appreciated what the Coen brothers did. How they kind of tied up a lot of their loose ends and plot holes and questionable decisions by just showing it through the eyes of officials saying, what the fuck? Come back when this makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
They're just kind of sitting back and letting it unfold because they don't feel there's no threat. There's just a bunch of bumbling idiots, basically. They're these guys aren't serious espionage and spies and stuff. They're just a bunch of idiots with nothing of importance.
Yep.
And they know it.
But I love the decisions, and it makes you wonder what sort of decisions like these are made in our FBI, CIA, the intelligence agencies, where they're like, burn the body, get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's
just
not worth the hassle.
Yep.
They're I'll connect with the FBI and run. He's like, no, don't tell them anything. Don't get
bring
them
those
involved.
idiots into it.
I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. Just burn the body. Yeah.
And then I like it at the very end when J.K. Simmons is saying, that's what happens when when we do this kind of stuff. And then they're like, it's hard to know what we did.
Exactly.
To me, again, I looked at this if I were to have seen this film in a stage performance with an ensemble cast, I would have fucking loved it. This to me is a perfect little setup where you can bend reality, you can bend, like legitimate decision making.
Yeah.
It's all just, it's fun storytelling.
It serves the story. The
Exactly.
that stuff does.
So that's pretty much my points. But then there's two things I want to talk about. We have.
So you have 2 more points.
First off, but these aren't really. I wouldn't. We're now out of the Pat's Points segment because these are potentially going to like springboard us into larger conversations.
Points.
Again, spoilers for sure at this point. If you have not seen the movie, do not proceed past this point because we're going to talk about the pretty much how some character stories may end. How many deaths did we end up with here at the end? So we have the Chad character, which is Brad Pitt. Mm-hmm. So clearly him.
R.I.P. Chad.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We have Ted. Mm-hmm. Harry ended up in Venezuela, or so we think, that they're going to just kind of like let him make his way to Venezuela.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they were.
John Malkovich.
Malkovich ended up in a coma.
But they said, but they said it doesn't look like he's going to pull through.
They said he had no brain activity. He was not going to make it, yeah.
So would that constitute as a death?
I would say so, because they basically said he's not going to live.
Mm-hmm. And then Linda ended up ultimately getting her surgeries because she said she would talk if she got them.
Yeah.
And I like how the whole plot revolves around her getting the surgery and the struggle. And he's like, yeah, just pay her off. Like it was like nothing. He's like, yeah, because he didn't even finish. He's like, well, it's a series of 4. And he's like, no, just pay it. Whatever it is, just pay it.
Do it. I love that. And then I'm trying to think. So there really wasn't any other... There was no other deaths. That was pretty much the main...
Yeah.
The main players, right?
The craziest thing, and I wonder if this is why it didn't sit right with people, general movie audiences and stuff, because it seemed like the people who died were the people that were just trying to help her, basically.
Oh yeah,
she
she got them killed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's her fault that they're dead. Ted and Brad.
They made bad decisions, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but they did it for her.
What a wonderful segue into my first question to you guys. Mm-hmm. Who is the ultimate victim in this film? So you could look at it and say, and I'm just going to throw some ideas out there. You could look at it and say Malkovich. He didn't really do anything wrong. Sure, maybe he had a bit of a drinking problem. But for him to have aspirations after leaving a job, that's commendable. Wants to write a book. Wants to, do some speaking engagements or whatever he wants to do. Is it fair for him, who's obviously going through a divorce, being cheated on, he thinks that someone's trying to blackmail him, he ends up in a coma and potentially brain dead. That's pretty fucked up. I mean, did he really do enough to warrant being a vegetable?
No.
Yeah.
He was
He was
a little bit of an a-hole, but he wasn't like horrible.
So let's talk out another one then. So now we have Ted. Ted is a character who obviously has strong feelings for Linda. He's the manager of Hardbodies. Mm-hmm. He has a history. He was a priest.
That's right.
At one point in time, which I'm intrigued. I wonder...
Yeah, he said he left the church, but he wouldn't talk about it.
Wouldn't say why. Yeah. So any ideas why we think he may have left the priesthood? Yeah. So, but obviously he had feelings for Linda, and he clearly... His performance in this, by the way, was top-notch.
Yeah.
But we'll circle back around to that.
It's much more subtle than everyone else.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
So he clearly, ultimately, for someone he deeply cared about, who did not reciprocate that
she was oblivious.
At all.
Yeah. Oblivious is the perfect word.
Yeah.
Like, she had no clue. Even when he was, like, dropping hint after hint after hint, she wasn't even... They were all just firing over her head.
Yep.
So for him to literally go into someone's home completely out of his element and uncomfortable, whereas at least, Brad Pitt and she were, they were oblivious. He was not. He knew that this was wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, he knew that we should not be doing that. This is not making me comfortable.
Yeah. He said right from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, when they were looking at the stuff on the computer from the disc, and he was like, I'm not comfortable with this at all. Like, I'm gonna leave the room.
So then, okay, so his character now, who obviously has a heart, has a history. Now, lived a life of priesthood in some capacity, works now in a gym, just tries to honest living, loves a woman who's completely ignoring him, and finally, trying to win her over, does something he knows he should not be doing, but his reasons were he cared about this person, and he ends up getting killed by a hatchet. So, would you say that he's more of a victim than Malkovich?
No, because he willingly did it. He made that choice. Malkovich didn't make a choice to be...
Well, potentially drinking.
Still.
And quitting.
Not tending to his wife, not being aware of his wife's displeasure with their marriage. Which is, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
Which could stem from the drinking, but...
Yeah.
I mean, you can also argue that alcoholism is a disease. So, maybe he should have gotten help, but...
All right, so then you could look at, we can kind of package the Linda and Chad characters together. So Brad Pitt and Francis McDormand, their characters.
I think Linda's not even a victim at all.
No.
I think she made out squeaky clean.
Absolutely not. As far as victims, she's the least victim of everybody. She kind of orchestrated everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about Pitt then, the Chad character. He obviously is just completely out of his element with all of this. He thinks, he's a moron.
He's not very bright.
Yeah, not bright at all, and he comes across this information.
But very enthusiastic.
So, but then he ends up, in essence, getting talked into doing stuff that is just wrong and illegal and playing with fire, and it got him killed. So, is he a greater victim than Malkovich and Ted? So I was always intrigued by that question with this film. Like, I never quite knew who was the ultimate victim, because there's like so many people that like the shit just exploded on a bunch of people.
Now that we've broken it down, I would say Malkovich is the biggest victim, because
I agree with that.
He wasn't trying. Yeah, he might have been drinking, but he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't trying to scam and wheel and deal at all. He was just trying to live his life.
Yeah.
All the other people.
Yeah, just trying to be happy.
Yeah. All the other people
You can't fault somebody for that.
They all made decisions that they knew were bad, like bad ideas. I'm talking about Brad Pitt, Francis McDormand, God damn it, and
Richard Jenkins.
Richard Jenkins.
Yeah. The three of them willingly did things knowing that they were completely wrong. Whether they, for whatever reasons they did them, they still knew better. And Malkovich's character was just kind of caught up in that because these people were scheming.
I feel the same way that Malkovich is probably the ultimate victim, because he didn't ask for any of this, and he didn't really have a choice in getting out of it, because he was having trouble even keeping up with what the fuck was going on.
That's true too, yeah.
Whereas Richard Jenkins, even though I felt really bad for his character, like from the beginning, and his performance is just so fucking good.
Yeah.
But he had the ability to distance himself from this and to keep himself safe, and he just made a really fucking poor decision. And because of that, I think Malkovich gets the edge.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And poor Brad Pitt's character is he's just a dummy.
I know.
He's not a bad guy. He's just overly enthusiastic and thinks that this is going to work, this half-cocked scheme. Everything he does in that movie.
From the beginning, from when they find the disc. Oh, one of my favorite scenes. In fact, let me do this real quick. Now would be a perfect time to do this. I would like to play this scene, which was one of my favorite little moments in the whole movie. And it was just like a little one-off thing, but I loved it.
Release and release. Too much?
I just felt a straining, a tightness in the front of my ass.
Well, you are pretty tight down there. You have to...
Something snapped in my ass.
He said the foot of my ass.
Something snapped in my ass. Oh, man, I love that.
That was good.
Oh, it's so good. But then I love how it's just like a one-off little moment, and how Brad Pitt, it just shows how oblivious he is.
Yeah.
Like, he just injured this man, and he's like, well, there is a bit of tightness back there. It's like tightness. You just fucking ripped a tendon or something.
Yeah.
I love that.
It is good.
No,
It was good.
That's like a Jerky Boys kind of
Yeah,
line.
yeah. It's like a Saul Rosenberg thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Piss clams all over my assy nipples.
my assy nipples.
If you kids don't know Jerky Boys, check out their first two albums.
Yeah.
You won't regret
And
it.
if you don't know what an album is, Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah, their stuff is on iTunes, so you you can find it.
Cool. All right, so my last question to you guys is favorite performance of this ensemble cast.
Well, I already talked about it. I don't know if it was before we were recording,
I don't know.
so I'll just repeat it.
Okay.
Brad Pitt. Everything he does in this movie made me laugh hysterically. There's a scene where Francis
My God,
McDormand is walking through the gym. I forget, she's walking with somebody and they're talking.
Yeah, giving like a tour.
Yes. And Brad Pitt's just in the background, just like dancing and like just
Throwing that medicine ball.
yeah, it's just in the background. Like, and all his just like facial expression. I love when he's in the car with with Malkovich, and he's trying to be all like intimidating, and he's kind of like
Doing that squinty
eye
eye
squint thing. He keeps like, oh my God, dude! I lost him every time he's so hilarious. I said this to Angel, my wife. I said to her that Brad Pitt is really underappreciated for his comedic timing. He is brilliant in this movie, and it reminds me of also his performance in 12 Monkeys. It's brilliant.
I will say this. Okay, so a couple episodes ago, again, we just talked about Real Genius episode where I revealed that Val Kilmer was like my first favorite actor.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that I can say, I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to find someone else that I would put above. I think Brad Pitt is my current day favorite actor.
Is he? I can see that.
Like-
He's good.
He's great. Like, I mean, dude, some of my favorite films of like my 20s, 7, 12 Monkeys, like just because to me, like, I know he has like the heartthrob look,
Yeah.
but his performances were always like above and beyond the heartthrobiness.
Yeah, he's very memorable in the roles he's in.
Yeah.
Look at
Like
him.
California.
Yeah,
California, that's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was way earlier on in his career. You know, pretty fairly early.
Yeah, so I really respect Pitt and what he brings to the game, but I would not say he's the best actor in this film. The best performance, I should say.
No, he may not be the best performance, but he just stole every scene that he was in. To me,
Yeah.
like he just outshined everybody. But that's because he was so like hilarious, like so funny. He was more overtly funny than a lot of the other characters were. If that, you know what I mean? Like a lot of them were.
I do love how after the closet scene when George Clooney's all rattled and he's trying to get information and the tags are all cut out and his wallet's empty and he's like, what the fuck?
The wallet's empty.
It's like, I killed a spook.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Which just made him super paranoid because there was that other guy following him.
I know,
But it was
dude.
his wife. Wife hired the guy to follow him because she knows he's cheating on her.
Yep. Dude, it's just great.
Oh my God. So good.
So, Justin, if you had to choose a favorite performance from this film, what would it be?
This is really tough. That's why I was pretty quiet when Mike was talking because I was trying to think about it when you get to me. And I have no idea. Honestly, I think Brad Pitt did a great job, but he's actually probably one of my least favorite in here. So I'll go on the other side. Although he did an amazing job. I just think everyone was just top notch.
Yeah.
But I like more subtle, like he was out there and over the top, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I usually like more subtlety. But then I was going to then go to John Malkovich, and there was nothing subtle about him at all. It was just like,
what the fuck?
yeah. I think I could relate to that just fucking exploding. You know what I mean?
so
Just
can
like
I,
getting
yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just like, all right. Yeah, and I like that. I really like Tilda Swinton in this too because I've seen her in tons of stuff, and and she seems completely different. Like, I feel like she's kind of like Gary Oldman in that respect, where she's just like a chameleon, where she just like fits. It's like, oh, this is the role I have to play, and just tucks and owns that role and becomes that person.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. I never thought of it quite like that, but I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with her.
Yeah, and
she is like that. She just kind of molds to whatever.
Yeah, she totally embodies the character, whichever character she's playing.
And it's cool too, because I like that. And I was going to say this actually about help me with the name, Mike. Was it Francis? No, with Francis McDormand's
Franny McD.
Franny McDee's character. I like both of these actresses because I feel like they kind of break the mold of the Hollywood stereotype of like, where women fall.
Yeah.
And I think they've played a wide spectrum of characters very well, by the way, throughout their careers. So I liked her. Her performance was good. They're both, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's impossible. Richard Jenkins.
And again, Clooney's he's actually really good in this movie too.
He was amazing in this.
Rip on Clooney a lot, like saying he's not that great of an actor, but this movie shows that he can be.
I'll tell you the sign of a good actor, and you could say the same for pretty much any one of the names we just rattled off, but like George Clooney specifically, him in this film, he's somebody, okay, I didn't even mention this. Like every time we kind of have like repeat actors on the show, I kind of mention it, like if we've done one of their films before. And, we mentioned how we had...
From Dusk Till Dawn. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. But does that not feel like a completely different human being?
Yes.
It does not feel like the same man played these two roles.
You're right.
And that is the sign of a good actor.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We didn't even none of us thought of that. Well, I mean, until you did, obviously.
Oh, real quick, Justin, and I don't know if you're finished your point, but I don't want to cut you off. But,
he never selected.
Yes, but so we're going to circle back around in 1 second. But Elizabeth Marvel, we have to mention her.
Oh,
she played the wife,
she was George
Sandy,
Clooney's wife.
Of George Clooney. And I love the fact that, like, from the very beginning, when the Sandy character meets the Tilda Swinton, Katie character.
I know where you're going with this.
And she says how she's a cold-hearted bitch.
They say it about each other.
And then later on, Tilda Swinton says the same exact thing about the Elizabeth Marvel character.
He's got a type.
Yeah, she's a cold, stuck-up bitch.
Yeah.
And then also, we have to say, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
One more actor. Just a quick little shout out because he was only in one scene. Raul Arenas.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
It was just laying there.
Oh yeah. You never saw this. Yeah, you never saw this. No, I found it there. Yeah, it
was just laying there on the floor in the women's locker room.
That was pretty amazing.
He was awesome too.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Justin, your favorite performance, best performance of this.
All right,
film.
I think I'm going to have to go with Robert Prescott. I mean, when he hands him that, when he serves him, it just. Nah, but like, all kidding aside though, but even for that little scene he was in, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to go with, I want to say J.K. Simmons, but he was just kind of playing a very similar role that he normally plays.
You could go with David Roush.
I'm just going to go. Yeah, I liked him too.
He actually is good.
Yeah, he was great in this. I'm going to just go with John Malkovich just because most of my attention was focused on him, and kind of I felt like the parts of the movie I was most interested that sucked me in were his parts. But I want to go back to Tilda Swinton.
Okay.
Just from what I said earlier. But Richard Jenkins was really... I can't...
Okay, here, can I give my answer before you take them all?
Yeah. I'll leave you Carla Mosley.
Is there anybody in this movie who you didn't mention?
Oleg Krupa, who worked at the Russian embassy. No, without question, my favorite performance from this, and believe me, there's a lot of awesome performances, but I think this actor, it may be his best performance that I've ever seen, is Richard Jenkins.
Well, you did hint at this earlier, yeah.
And I'm going to be really intrigued to investigate this further for him, because I never looked at him. He was always a, what do you call that? Like a supporting character actor, a supporting character, just like a one-off part here and there. I never saw him, and he's always been slow and steady and good at what he does. he nails it. But I never saw a performance of his that like really like drew an emotional response out of me, and he did with this film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you guys think of any other Richard Jenkins performance where it was like, holy fuck?
Nope.
Like, I felt it in my heart.
Not that I've seen every single thing he's ever done, but from what I've seen, no. That was his most.
Yes.
That was his most dynamic, well-rounded character that I've ever seen him have. Yes,
I agree, and he's got 115 credits, so he's no slouch. But when you consider that he's in a cast with Clooney and Pitt and Francis McDormand and John Malkovich.
Malkovich.
Yeah, Malkovich, and I mean even J.K. Simmons, who's he's won an Oscar, right? Didn't he win an Oscar, or at least a Grammy or an Emmy?
Grammy
or a Golden Globe? He's won something. I don't fucking know.
I think it was the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, he won the Nobel. Yeah, I think
he won the Employee of the Month.
I think he won.
We're talking about J.K. Simmons. Didn't he win it for that drum movie that he did?
J.K. Simmons, yeah. Didn't he write Harry Potter? Yeah, what did he win it for?
Was it was that movie about he was like a drum teacher or something. He was like abusive.
Yeah. What,
I don't remember the name of that. I've never seen it. But I think he did win for that.
Yeah, it was Whiplash. But anyway, considering that Richard Jenkins was in this ensemble cast that included literal living legends.
Yeah.
And he still managed to shine through for me.
Sure.
And I felt really bad for his character. Like, I felt really bad for Ted. Like, George Clooney, I didn't feel bad for. Francis McDormand, she was a bitch because she was, like, all self-centered on her Hardbodies career, and she got people killed. Brad Pitt, I felt bad for him, but he should just don't go into people's houses. Like, come on. Malkovich, he would be, his performance was top notch, but he didn't really get an emotional response from me. I mean, sure, laughter and that kind of stuff. Tilda Swinton, I thought her performance was great, but again, that kind of emotional connection I didn't get. But Richard Jenkins, man, I felt really bad for him, and I felt like he made the ultimate sacrifice for the potential of love. Like, he's my pick for best performance in this movie, which is surprising when you look at the cast. So. Anyway, any final thoughts there before we move to the ratings?
I'm going to pick Richard Jenkins, too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a compelling argument.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad I won.
That is a good point that, like, with all these, like, heavy hitters in this movie, that he held his own with, these A-list, like...
Yeah, dude, there's some scenes that he has. Like, there's that scene with after Brad Pitt's demise where he's back at Hardbodies with Francis McDormand, and she tells him that she doesn't know where Chad is, and his reaction to that is so good. Like, so real. It doesn't feel like a performance. It feels like this man who cares about Chad is like completely torn apart. That she doesn't know where Chad, like, he's flabbergasted, he's shocked. Like, it's just if you watch this film again, anybody listening or you guys, hone in on his performance because it's just really good. So anyway, Richard Jenkins. Look, I'm going to be really paying attention closely to his stuff as I watch films now, because I never looked at him as a quote unquote actor like that. I always looked at him as like kind of like a
character actor.
Yeah, a character actor.
I love character actors, man.
I do too.
Me too.
And Emmett Walsh.
Yeah.
Who was in a lot of their movies.
Yeah.
He transcended that. I don't know.
Label?
Yeah, he transcended that in this film for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's rate this thing.
But it's still Brad Pitt's my favorite performance.
No, that's cool. Hey, you're not going to get a complaint out of me.
Yeah, it was still
you're no
good
Deborah.
pick.
He thinks it's a schwinn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And when
I forgot about that. That was good.
So good.
Yeah.
And then when he gets punched in the face, did we mention that?
Yeah, no, we didn't. I mentioned that scene.
Punch.
I mentioned the scene in the car with the whole, the squinting of the eyes.
But then when Malkovich punches him in the face, his reaction, that's when shit gets real.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is my film. well, my selection.
You directed this? You're Joel and Ethan Coen?
Yeah, I am. So I will rate this first since it's my selection. I'm gonna go pretty high with this one because it's like right in my I don't know what term, comfort zone.
Your wheelhouse.
I don't know.
Bunghole.
My wheelhouse. What's another? It's right in my bunghole. What's another terminology? Another synonym for wheelhouse? Let me
Right, my
Google
grape shack.
The fuck. It is directly dead center in my grape shack.
Right in the shovel holster. Right in the wind bottle. All right.
Grape Shack.
Yeah, wheelhouse synonyms do not give me what I want.
Grass nuggets. I'm giving you like a bunch of them.
Because wheelhouse,
up your
the
alley.
definition for wheelhouse is on this page, an enclosed compartment from which a vessel can be navigated. That's not the way I'm using it.
Yeah, no, but it's just an expression. It's up your alley. It's right up your alley.
It's on my ass. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, I got to go pretty high with this one. Like, what did you guys give? Let me compare it to some of your faves. What did you give Cyborg, Mike?
I don't remember. 8 something, maybe? I don't know.
You gave the Wraith
I think what my higher
7.3.
I think my higher ones were probably like Tank Girl and From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn I think was my highest.
Yeah, I don't have that information in front of me.
I think I gave that like a 9.
Cyborg, you gave an 8.4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in that range with this one. I enjoy this film that much. Like, it's a fun film for me. And some films you watch them, you get bored. I don't feel that with this film.
Oh,
like,
no, I was like glued to the screen the whole time watching this, yeah.
And I literally watched it the other day for the podcast, and then I watched it again. Like, I do not do that. Like, that is not, like, I enjoy films and I'll watch them multiple times, but never back to back. Like, literally 2 days apart, I watch the same film. But, yeah, I'm going to give this an 8.5.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
Makes sense.
So,
yeah.
It's right in my...
Your Grape Shack.
It's in my Grape Shack.
And as much as you got worked up over that negative review, it makes sense that you would give it that.
And, I just, in closing, I want to apologize for that. That's not like me. I appreciate everybody's opinion on art, and I understand what art is, and I think if you listen to this podcast, all of us appreciate art and what goes into art, and not being too harsh, and also accepting those that are. But
yeah, we have a little fun with the reviews sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we understand.
I just want to make sure people don't
know.
think I'm legitimately getting butthurt about Deborah's review. But, fuck her. So, Justin.
Oh, man.
Justin,
I'm not going to go quite as high.
Justin's going to go 11.4.
Yeah.
1,000. I really like it. It was good. I think you really brought a banger to the table again.
Yeah.
When we watch this, I haven't seen Blood Simple since like the 90s. I think I saw it on a VHS tape. Mm-hmm. And my friend, like last year, he bought like the Criterion edition or something, so he gave me his Blu-ray copy. And so after watching this, I watched that. So it like got me, going back and looking at their other movies. So I think it'll be high. Not quite as high because just comparing it to other Coen Brothers movies, like I think I liked Raising Arizona. I definitely liked better. I think Miller's Crossing I liked better. Blood Simple probably some bits of that I liked better, but I'd still probably put them around the same. Big Lebowski I definitely liked better because that's actually probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Mm-hmm. Serious Man was a great movie. I don't know where I compared to this. So with that being said, I'll go. 7. I'm going to go 7.6. I feel like it should probably be higher, but then when I think of the other ones, I think other ones I would put higher. So.
No, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Mike?
All right. I just want to say this movie totally slaps, as the kids say. I actually used it wrong because it's supposed to be in reference to music. Like, that song slaps.
Well, slang evolves. You know what I mean? So you're taking it to the next level.
Yeah, now you're using it for films.
There you go.
You're a trendsetter.
This movie slaps. I really enjoy this film. I would say of the Coen brothers movies that I've seen, this might be my second favorite after Fargo. I was thoroughly entertained by this movie. I texted you guys yesterday and said that I was watching it and I was like laughing hysterically. Thought this movie was very funny.
That made me happy.
Which, you know, apparently some people think that there's literally no humor in this movie, which I don't get. There's a lot of humor in this movie. It's very funny. With all that, I would say I'll give it a 7.9.
Ooh.
And
look at this.
And I'm not rating it based on you guys. I was already set to give it about 7.8, 7.9. So
you're a fucking ass kisser. That's what you are. No, I'm just kidding.
Whose ass am I kissing? Joel and Ethan Coen?
I don't know.
Take that, Deborah.
Right, so we got, this has an average of 8.
Damn.
On the nose.
Nice. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, really fun movie. It's, again, go in with the right mindset on this one. Go in with, enjoy these characters. Look at it almost like a stage play. Don't try to, rationalize their decision-making.
You know what? I just thought of this. In some ways, this reminds me of Very Bad Things.
Yeah.
I just thought...
Yeah, that's another one that's in that grape shack of mine that I enjoy.
The grape shack. Janky Bone Shoes. Come on down to Janky Bone Shoes Grape Shack.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? That's another one that's in that, those things I rattled off
in my
earlier.
head. It's just a bunch of normal dudes that make some bad decisions.
Yep. And they get into situations that they're not prepared for.
They're not equipped for at all. Yeah. It's very similar.
I really appreciate that kind of genre. That might be one of my favorite film genres.
Love that. I love Very Bad Things. Man, that movie is top notch for me. If we ever do that one, that'd be a fun one.
Well, maybe. I mean, you have the power of selection.
Man,
I'm just saying.
That's not true. They don't let me pick anything.
Edit that shit out.
He does what he's told.
Yeah.
Help me.
Dance monkey.
Someone help me.
Anyway. Any final thoughts? Anything we missed? Any parts of the film that we didn't talk about that you guys want to bring up real quick? Because now would be the time.
No, I think we dissected it pretty well. What do you think, Just? What do you got?
Yeah, I have nothing else. I just, I would say if you like this, if you guys haven't seen Miller's Crossing, I recommend that one too. That's one of my favorite ones by them.
Maybe I'll have to see that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, so it might, I don't know, maybe it might not hold up. But I really remember really digging it.
I need to. I'm gonna actually check out Raising Arizona. I've heard so many people like mention that movie over the years, and for some reason it's just one I've never gotten around to seeing.
Yeah, I won't say any more though because I don't want to build it up where you're oh, everybody says it's so great. Because I think I saw it as a kid and I had never seen anything like it. That was one of the first really wild zany movies, bizarre type things I'd ever seen, so holds a special place.
Cool.
All right, so I do remember you, Justin. You always quoted that panty line from that film, Raising Arizona. 2 quick points I want to mention that before the show is over. The Mr. Black throwback. Did I mention that yet? The Brad Pitt when he was first met Malkovich in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Malkovich says, and I assume you're Mr. Black, which is a little nod to Meet Joe Black.
I've never seen that.
The one, wasn't he the devil or some shit?
I've never seen that movie.
I haven't seen it either.
He was in a movie called Meet Joe Black, right?
I remember that.
He played Mr. Black, so that was like a little wink and a nod. But anyway, the other thing is the Coen brothers edited this film under their the name Roderick Jaynes, which is not a real person. That is them.
Oh, okay.
So, FYI. So, and I think they do that with most of their movies, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, if you go to their credits and you look at their editor credits, they're all listed as Roderick Jaynes. So, anyway, just a little nugget.
Little tidbit
out there. So, okay, well, that's all I have. So if you guys are good, I think we can shut this one down. We can shut down the Grape Shack.
I was going to say, take that to your Grape Shack and smoke it.
All right, Mike, Justin, this is it.
And Deborah, let's work this thing out. Give us a call.
Yeah. I don't want to end like this. I think, Justin, you and I need to sit down with Pat and Deborah and just kind of mediate and let's hash this out. And
No, it's okay. I think she just didn't have to be so mean.
Pat.
And Deborah, how do you feel about what Pat just said? Fuck him.
Look.
She flips over the table.
Yeah.
But
so, what's up, Mike?
I don't think he needs to be a bitch.
Look, like I said, that's the nature of critics and well, not so much. I mean, yeah, critics, but just the online community, man. People just, even if they don't really mean it, like if you and Deborah,
this isn't an online community thing. She works for a publication.
Well, that's fine, but it's probably an online publication. But
well. I can tell you who it is. Give me a minute.
But point being,
let me go back to this dark place.
Pat, if you and Deborah were sitting in a room together talking,
The Spectator.
That sounds like a online thing.
I don't know. I don't know that to be true.
If you and Deborah were sitting in a room together,
oh no, I know what you're saying.
Talking about this movie.
But yeah, she didn't say these words to me. She put them out in an article in 2018.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Spectator. Apparently, this is UK. It's got a UK site, spectator.co.
Oh, there you go. Maybe there's a cultural disconnect.
I don't know. That's a little. Okay, so the article is entitled "Angry, Icy, Goofy, and Dumb." That's the name of the article.
Aren't you glad you dug a little deeper? Doesn't it make you feel better?
God.
All right, I'm gonna just X out of this. I'm gonna move on with my life.
Hey, like I said, maybe she just doesn't get the American humor of it.
I just wish I wouldn't have come across that review.
I wish you hadn't also.
I know. Anyway, all right. Final thoughts. I don't want to end on a Deborah Downer.
I think that's it. I think that was the closer right there.
Pat, get your shovel out of your shovel holster and bury this in your Grape Shack.
I will. And move on. All right. No, I'm going to do just that. All right. So, Justin, Mike, always a pleasure. Love you guys. So glad we're on to episode 26 here.
Yes,
27
sir.
Coming next week. Look at us just cruising right along.
I don't even remember what next week is.
I was going to ask what next week's is. Is it Brain Scan?
Yeah, I think it is.
Or is it...
Well, join us next week where we may or may not be talking about
Brain Scan.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it is. Hold on.
I think I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. That's a mic line right there.
I think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that totally is a mic line. I think I'm pretty sure that is a mic line.
Yes. Brain Scan.
Yes, tune in next week for Brain Scan. Woo!
I think I need a brain scan after tonight, man. Jesus
I think we
Christ.
all need our brains scanned. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're all in John Malkovich's mind. His coma mind.
You know, I almost want to watch that film again because...
What, being John Malkovich?
Yeah, like I said before,
that's
about
a great movie.
My Malkovich complex that I have, where I think I just always kind of like, because he was put on such a pedestal, I always just assumed that he was never going to be able to uphold that kind of reputation.
Well, isn't he also...
I feel like I need to watch some of his stuff again.
Isn't he also very well regarded, like, as a stage actor?
I feel he should be if he isn't.
I'm pretty sure he is. I think he's very highly regarded in that arena as well. So that might be a part of why he's so high up on that pedestal.
Yeah, and one last thing, and I know we're supposed to be wrapping this up, but just about Malkovich, just even the scene where he's on the boat working out, he's so real. He was such like a real like a man's man, not just man's man, just a real person.
Yeah.
A real, like, you know, as he's working out, he's like, fuck you, I'm fucking back. I'm fucking like just like that's a real person, like in their moment of just frustration and anger and just whatever could go wrong was going wrong with this guy. I think he just played that part perfectly. And it was written perfectly,
I agree,
too. I
yeah.
think the Coen brothers did a great job.
The script is fantastic.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Cue the music.
Yep, let's do it. Oh, it's already been done cued at this point.
Oh, yeah.
We're just kind of, I probably had to loop it.
I don't hear it. Play it again.
Yeah. All right, Justin, Mike, thank you guys. And we will see you. Oh, so yeah, check us out on our social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Anything else?
That Discord
Do we
channel
have a
slaps.
P.O. box?
You're talking into the abyss. I think people checked out like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well,
No, you're right. Yeah, check
Yeah.
it. Discord, Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, MySpace,
MySpace. What
The
else?
OnlyFans.
LiveJournal,
OnlyFans. Mike is on there every Wednesday. Okay, well, that's all I got. So,
All
we'll see you next week.
See ya.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
I raised you better than this.
I don't know. Who's got Yodas and shit on them?